Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Tell Like It Is radio podcast. I'm your host, Will Clark. So it's my favorite time of the year. The NBA season is over and we are now here at the NBA postseason. We get the good up-tempo basketball, hard fouls, tough calls, all that. Maybe upsets. So the first matchup that I'm going to dig into is the Celtics and the Bulls in the Eastern Conference. And the team that I actually have winning this game, I'm going to pick the Boston Celtics in either 5 or 6. But this game can go either way. For one, the Bulls are a veteran team. Rajon Rondo is a former Celtic. Dwayne Wade is an experienced NBA vet, NBA champion. And this is not his first roller coaster, obviously. And if you get the old Wade, the Flash Wade, there's really no telling how far this team can go, along with Jimmy Butler getting his numbers, his points, his buckets. And as long as the team can just avoid the drama that they've been dealing with all summer, or all season, just avoid the drama. But I feel like if that doesn't happen, then I definitely have the Celtics in 5 or 6. Also because the Celtics actually, they get Isaiah Thomas open. Yeah, he creates his own shots. But he also, they remind me of just the style of play. I'm not going here with record-wise, the roster they have. But they get Isaiah Thomas open just how the Detroit Pistons got Rip Hamilton open, coming off the screens, getting him in rhythm. Stuff like that. Also, Avery Bradley, he's a lockdown defender, along with Marcus Smart, along with Crowder. I just feel like this team is very tough defensively. They're well defensively sound. Brad Stevens, in my eyes, he could be the coach of the year. But I'll get back on that because I have my picks in my little ballot for those awards. So I'll actually get back to that. And Horford has to play big. He has to show up. I know he gets his number, his 16 and 10 numbers or whatever, but he has to bring it every night against his Bulls team. So if they do all that, then I definitely have the Boston Celtics winning in 5 and 6. Let's stay in the East. Next matchup I have is the first game of the day, actually. It's the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Indiana Pacers. And my pick for this series, I'm going to pick the Cleveland Cavaliers, winning in 6. And all because of the man, Lebron James. As of today, or as of last night, he done locked in to the zero dark 30 LeBron. And another issue I have, one issue I have is it's like every time the Cleveland Cavaliers, lose a few games or they're just not the team who people think. I don't know. It's like once they just lose a couple games or have a little drama, everyone wants to count LeBron James out. Everyone wants to count the Cleveland Cavaliers out. And I'm just tired of that. I actually believe that this team actually do have a switch in where they can turn it on and turn it off. And I only say that because LeBron is the best player in the NBA. And once he listens or hear a word that, his team is being counted out or he's this and he's that, this guy just turned up. Because we all know LeBron can do once his back is against the wall. As we've seen previous years when he played the Boston Celtics while he was down 3-2 and also the Detroit Pistons in the Game 7. Other reasons is Kyrie Irving. Pretty much he's hard to guard. I think he's unguardable. Then you have Kevin Love, that's the crazy part. Kevin Love had a solid year this season, and he had a strong finish to the season. A strong finish. And I think a lot of people actually forget what Kevin Love is capable of. And they actually seem to forget how much he's sacrificing when he came to the Cleveland Cavaliers. He was the man in Minnesota. I guess you can say my colleague kind of agreed with that statement I made. Another thing is people seem to forget that LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers they don't really care about the seeding or the regular season. The regular season is just a seeding. It's just where you're going to rank for the playoffs. I don't really think that they care about who they're going to face. That's what I'm trying to say, because LeBron reached the finals all 5 times as a number 2 seed. He reached the final all 5 times, or 5 times as a number 2 seed. Next, I got the Raptors and I got the Bucks. I like the Raptors in 5. I picked the Raptors in 5 because of their team. They have a well completed team with Ibaka, Lowry, DeMar, and also the Bucks are missing Jabari Parker. That's an extra 15, 16 points that they could use. And they do have the Greek Freak, who once again, he's the only player to be top 20 in all 5 categories: points, rebounds, assists, steals, and block. Someone else that I will cover later on in the show. But I feel like once Toronto locking on him and frustrate him, getting his head, who's their other option besides a Middleton who's coming off of injury and a Greg Monroe? And they're also bigger. They're big in the front court with Ibaka, who's I feel like he may be an X factor in this playoff or just for the series. And they have Valanciunas, who's a double machine. Staying in the East, next we have the Wizards versus the Hawks, and I have the Wizards in 6. Point being, John Wall, Bradley Beal. Wizards have arguably one of the best backcourts in the league right now. With the Hawks, I do like Tim Hardaway. I believe he's in the talk when we talk about the Most Improved Player of the Year award. Schroeder wasn't as consistent this year. A lot of ups and downs this year. Howard had a solid season. Did the right thing, returning home, playing for Atlanta. And I actually feel like Paul Millsap is the key. I'm not a big Paul Millsap fan. Doesn't mean I hate him. I still give him his props, give him his credit's due. But I did have an issue with him actually taking my man All-Star spot, Joel Embiid, for this year All-Star game. But Millsap puts up good numbers, but I just feel like Embiid as a rookie had an outstanding year, and I was kind of disappointed not seeing him in the All-Star game. I feel like he was a snub, and they just gave Millsap that spot, but that's fine. John Wall, he gets his points. He leads his team in points, assists. He gets blocks, being a point guard, has the ball in his hands on transition points, play makes. Then you got Bradley Beal, who's a hell of a set shooter. He developed a little bit of handle this year. He driven the ball more. So I feel like it's going to be a good series. So I'll take the Wizards in 6. I don't think the Hawks have enough pieces to beat the Wizards with. All right, so the West I haven't really paid attention to. So I'm just going to give you guys my quick picks. So the first game got Golden State and Portland. I'm going to take Golden State. Obvious reason, they're the better team. Too much firepower. I'm still kind of undecided who's coming out the West. But one thing about Portland, they're not going to lay down. But they will have their games where Golden State will go on a run, and they're going to be too much for the Portland Trail Blazers. But also at the same time, Damian Lillard will have 1 or 2 50-point games. And one of the 50-point games, maybe C.J. McCollum can follow up with a 30-point game, 32. And that's going to be the only way if that they can actually pull an upset, which I don't see happening. But to make this series a competitive series, the Portland backcourt has to at least average about 68 between the two. I'm sorry, 72 between the two. That's tough, but that shit.
I got the from the Nuggets.
Who?
Like Nurkic or something like that. He tough.
Man. Yeah. Second, we got the Utah and the Clippers. Utah are my sleeper team. It was kind of hard picking the upset this first round, and I like the Clippers, but I was close to picking Utah. I wouldn't be surprised, but I just feel like if the Clippers don't make it to the finals this year, or just don't have a good run in the playoffs, I don't know what's going to be next for this team. I don't know if Doc has to go, Chris Paul has to go. I don't know what's going on. But I would take the Clippers, and I'll say Clippers in 5 or 6. But Utah, I can't really sleep on because Goldberg, he's a defender, protects the rim, lone guy. Hayward, I think he's I think he is the best or one of the best white American players to play in the NBA right now. He's athletic, he can score, put the ball on the floor, create shots. So it's gonna be a good series. That series, what you think?
Yeah, I'm going with Utah on that one.
Utah.
I like Hayward and I like the young pieces that they got. Besides, Clippers always belong on some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite right.
Yeah. Next, we got San Antonio and we got Memphis. Going to pick San Antonio because I feel like they have the better team once again. Still got Leonard, and he's a beast on offense and defense. The Memphis Grizzlies, they did shock me. They have the head coach, who's assistant coach from the Miami Heat, David Fizdale. In the offseason, he signed Chandler Parsons for $90 million, but it didn't quite work out because he was battling injuries. But the team just still stayed intact. It wasn't drama on their part. They played well, so it's going to be a good series. And Houston to OKC. I like... It's hard to go against Westbrook because of the year he's having. That's a tough matchup. Who do you think?
I think the Rockets got a better team.
I think the Rockets, yeah.
That nerve time when Westbrook loses, bro, he don't even shake hands. He leaves before the game over with.
Yeah.
He walks off the floor before the game over with. And no one in the league ever said anything about that. He walks off before the game over. Once somebody acknowledge him, he's out. He leaves.
I'm going to pick the Rockets. Better team. But it's hard to go against Westbrook, and especially with the additions of Todd Gibson and McBuckets. I just feel like, once again, Westbrook is a better Rose, way better than Rose. And he pretty much got these two players that were a great supporting cast of Derrick Rose when they were making their runs in the playoffs against Miami Heat, LeBron and them. But the supporting cast they have now, they came and they just fit right in. But it's going to be a good series. It may go 6 or 7. I don't know. But it's going to be a hell of a battle. And I guess the winner of that series, they will determine who the MVP goes to.
That's what they're waiting for?
So the NBA season is over. And I actually want to give out my NBA season's final grade. So my NBA regular season grade would be a D- for this year. Only because there's only about 4 or 5 teams to watch. KD joined the Warriors over the summer, so that kind of like shifted dynamics. And there's a lot of players sitting out. Matter of fact, let me change that. I say a C-. I say a C- because of Westbrook had a historic season. And also there were like 34 records that were accomplished this year. And the NBA had an all-time high of 42 million people watching, tuned in. So their ratings definitely went up. But it was like I said, just the same 4 teams to watch, and the same players you're hearing about all year, just KD, LeBron, Westbrook, Harden, and you heard about Joel Embiid when he did play. What about you? What you think? How you feel about the season? What grade would you give it?
It's been a good season. Got a lot of record breakings.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That was like last year, right? A lot of record breaking last year.
Mm-hmm.
This season was cool.
Westbrook
did a big thing. LeBron, your boy from Milwaukee he led his team in everything. That was a record. This is LeBron got a record for something.
Yeah, I think he had 13 consecutive seasons with 25
points or more.
Yep.
Oh, you also got fucking over 13 people that average over 25 points. It's never been like that. Remember, it started going down and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been good.
It's a pretty good season. So yeah, I changed my grade from D- to C-, maybe a C. It was alright.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about what happened this season. I'll run down on this. Klay Thompson scored 60 points in 30 minutes. Kobe scored 60 his final games. I'll say it again. Klay Thompson scored 60 points in 30 minutes. Youngest players to score 70 points, Devin Booker.
Facts.
Rockets this season, 14 3-pointers per game made. They averaged 14 3-pointers a game.
That's nice.
Kevin Love had 34 points in the first quarter this year. Only finished the game with about 40, 38. So he had a weak second half, but that's still major. Westbrook and Harden, they had the most turnovers this year, but when you're both getting 90 plus touches a game, that's bound to happen. That's bound to happen. Most points in the All-Star game, Anthony Davis. I didn't really watch the game. It was kind of dry. This All-Star weekend was kind of dry to me. So they had like 50-some points in the All-Star game.
51, 50.
And LeBron, he's the first ever player, like we covered, to go 13 consecutive seasons in a row, averaging 25 points. Only player, once again, it's another category, another record that he made for himself. Another stat that Westbrook had, the first triple-double without missing a shot. Westbrook went 6 for 6. Look it up. First triple-double without missing a field goal shot.
That was a record.
Joel Embiid is the only rookie to have 20 points per game, along with 7.5 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 1 made three-pointer in his rookie campaign. And let's not forget, this man played less than 31 minutes. And, well, let's say he played 25 minutes, and he only played 31 games. So that's just to highlight some of the stuff that happened this season. And you guys can always, shoot me an email with, any comments you want to make, or even with your NBA season overall grade to the telllikeitis@gmail.com. All right, so I'm a 90s baby. We're definitely in a whole new era, whole new generation of basketball. We don't have just one or two players on every team now, but we do have a lot of players who got drafted in the 90s still playing today. So I got my colleague here, and I'm going to ask him a couple of these questions. So Kobe walked away from the game. Tim Duncan walked away from the game. Iverson walked away in a way that I didn't agree with. I was kind of disappointed about. But we still got Dirk Nowitzki, who actually said that he's returning next season.
Wow.
Yeah, he's returning next season. He's actually looking to play about another season or two. He's gonna play into the wheels fall off, basically. Vince Carter, do you have Vince Carter return next year, or will this be his final season?
Vince returning. Vince gonna be the oldest player to ever play. He's in great shape, man. You watch his highlight clips when he just shooting from half court, dunking the ball in his legs. Still, he in great shape, man.
What about Paul Pierce?
Paul done.
It's final year.
Yeah, he on his farewell tour. He out the door.
I agree.
I think he still go though, but I honestly think he's leaving because of his role.
Right, I agree.
He's not getting that go-to guy role no more. So he's just honest now on the team that he could be that guy. Like the year before when he was with, I think, Atlanta, he was that guy.
Or the Wizards.
Oh,
I believe the
Wizards.
Wizards.
Yeah,
he was hitting big shots
guy.
for him.
He was hitting big shots at the end. But now he with the Clippers, they just putting him in the back. So I don't know. I believe that if he was like on another team where they go to him, call his name when they need him, he'll still play.
So if Paul Pierce was one of the go-to guys, or he was a starter, how many points would he think that he can give you a night in, night out?
He's mature, 15, close to 20.
So my next guy on my list, next two, they're teammates. I got Manu and Tony Parker. So would Manu return for next season?
I think Manu's gonna return. He be chilling when he play now. He don't be trying to do over the top. The old man, he will make a move when you go to the rim, dunk on you, something crazy. Now he just faking passes, trying to shoot the open shot. Players like that, they can save their body. They can play a long time.
What about Tony Parker?
Tony ain't going away. He only like 35.
All right. So my question to you is though, is it time to give these guys different roles? Like, you still want them starting? Do you want to see what the young guys can do? Like, once these guys leave, like, what you think? Is it time for new roles? Have them come off the bench, lower their minutes, let other guys get a chance?
I would definitely. It depends. Tony Parker, I would lower his minutes. He can start the game, but I'll lower his minutes. But he got to be out there to finish the game. He can save his energy for the end because he's going to need He's smart and he has experience. He's going to need that. Almano, same thing. I know these guys are older, but these guys, cause I mean, if they keep their body up, they'll be okay. I start them, then I lower his minutes, then I can have him in the game. Dirk Nowitzki too. They got it in the game. All these guys got experience. They all NBA champions. Like Paul Pierce, I just think the game is too fast for Paul Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
Man. He's not moving the same. I mean, he's a smart player, but you could tell. Well, he don't know way out the door. That's why he's playing like he is. He in his heart not in it. Like when he was on Boston and the Wizards, he's not playing with that purpose no more.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So
I agree. So do you think he'll play a big role for the Clippers in the playoffs? Like, as in, like, him hitting last big shots, or Doc going to him for certain situations where the teams look out of sync?
I would. I would if I was Doc, but no. Doc gonna go with Paul shooting the last shot. And if anything, he gonna go with Jamal Crawford shooting the last shot. But I would definitely go with Paul Pierce, because I just can't see Clippers beating no one important. They're just a highlight team, and in the playoffs, none of the highlight stuff matters, so I just can't see it.
In other news, the Orlando Magic fired general manager Rob Hennigan. He's the youngest GM in the league, and kind of seen this happening. They overpaid for Biyombo. It's not quite working out. Then they made a trade for Ibaka, and they traded Ibaka. So I feel like Orlando just need to find their identity and just figure out what they want to do from there. Also, Steph Curry, for the 6th consecutive time, he led the NBA in jersey sales. Number 1, the most popular jersey of the season. Number 2, we had LeBron. 3, KD. 4 was Westbrook. And 5 was Kyrie. So let's go. I'm gonna skip that. Matter of fact, let me save that when I get to the awards. Shout out to Karl Anthony Towns, youngest player to average 25 and 10 in the season. That's huge. Other news I want to talk about: LeBron James will be opening up a school for at-risk kids in Akron, Ohio, his hometown. He partnered up with the public school system to open up his own public school for students at risk of being left behind. The I Promise School is scheduled to open up in the fall of 2018. The school will open primarily to the 3rd and 4th graders and will look to expand its doors to grades 1st through 8th in 2020. And I feel like that's a major move. And this is like the second major thing that LeBron did this year off the court, along with what did he do? Like donate 41 million to send kids in Ohio to college. Now, I wanted to kind of compare and contrast Michael and LeBron, but I want to say that for another segment. But I mean, it was kind of new to me, but I just found out Michael Jordan was investing money into prisons, and it's been out for about a couple years now, and it was kind of new to me. But I feel like LeBron is he's the definition of a role model, man. He doesn't get in trouble on the court, carries himself well off the court. He doesn't let his emotions get the best of him. And, I mean, props to him, man. Another shout out I want to give to, I think I might actually watch the WNBA season this year because this person, Kelsey Plum from Washington, her game reminds me of James Harden. She's a left-handed scorer. Yeah, she got drafted number 1 to the San Antonio Stars. She just balls. She's a flat-out baller, man. And I just want to highlight some of her stuff right here. She's number 1 pick of the San Antonio Stars. She's 5'8", spent 4 years at Washington. She had the Honda Sport Award, the John R. Wooden Award, the Wade Trophy, the Naismith College Player of the Year Award, the Nancy Lieberman Award, the USBWA Player of the Year Award, the Dawn Stelly Award, the NCAA All-Time Leading Scorer Award, ESPN Women's Player of the Year Award, NCAA All-Time Leading Scorer. She also dropped 57 points on February 25th of a 19-28 shooting on senior night. And she broke the record with points this year, dropping 3,397 points this season. Averaging 31.7 points per game, 53% shooter. I don't care about the numbers, not really a number guy, but for a girl, I don't think no one ever dominated the college basketball scene or game like that since Maya Moore. You can argue about Candace Parker, but she's going to be huge, and I'm going to keep my eyes open for her. There's one more thing I want to say about the Cavs too. So like I said, every time they lose games or there's drama and people want to hit the panic button and try to disrespect LeBron by saying, you know, Curry's the face of the league or IT is going to give him trouble. And just like the year when the Hawks won 60-something games or they're going to beat the Cavs, whatever. LeBron once again got himself another, I'm not even going to say a hole, but he created another opportunity to where last year he was the first player and the Cleveland Cavaliers were the first team to come back from 3-1 down the finals. The Cleveland Cavaliers are 12-14 since the All-Star break. No team with a losing record after the break has won the finals. I'll leave it at that. The Cleveland Cavaliers also released Larry Sanders because he missed the team bus to an airport. I don't know if I'm surprised, but I was kind of rooting for Larry Sanders. But they also released Liggins, and they decided to pick up Dante Jones. They feel though that's a good pickup.
Last year?
The guy from Duke.
I said Jones. Light-skinned dude?
The light-skinned dude, yeah.
They had before?
Did they have him before? I think they might have.
Before. Did that nigga every fucking playoffs?
Yeah, I think they had him before. So, I mean, yeah, he's locked in defender. We'll see how that go. I guess maybe they're going to keep my guy K. Fielder. Because he was busting butt in D-League once they sent him down. He was kind of in his bag about that. Ben Simmons, 7-foot point guard. He grown a couple inches, and he's right under 7 foot. And Brett Brown says that he's going to leave Ben Simmons at running the point guard for the 76ers, and I think that's a bold move. And with this draft, let's hopefully we can get a good guard who can come out like a Malik Monk, Fox, Smith. Someone who can just compliment him. What you think about that?
7-foot point guard, that's nice.
Sound good. And he got good vision.
Everybody gonna be big. What's up? We big now. I like that. And he got a little bit of LeBron in him.
A lot. Size, passing wise, vision. Just got to work on that jumper. And he's left-handed.
That jumper come to.
Now I want to get into the NBA is going to have their this is their first ever NBA awards, I guess you could say. So my MVP for this year, once again, like I've been saying for the past months, will be Russell Westbrook. He surpassed the Big O record. His team's above 500. What else? He's a point guard that rebounds. He's a point guard averaging 10.7 rebounds. The point guard. Who's your MVP?
I don't know. I'm liking Westbrook, but I think I'm stuck on the LeBron. I think it's all about what players do for him.
Mm-hmm.
Can OKC win if they ain't have Westbrook? That's a good question.
All right.
Can Rockets win if they ain't have Harden? Can Cavs win if they ain't have LeBron?
And that's how I feel as though that the award should be looked at. Not only if your team is winning, but how good is your team without you? You're the most valuable player. That means you're valuable to that team. So how does the team look if you're not on that team? So That's a good point. The most improved player, this was tough for me, but then I had to think. It was obvious, but I'll go number. First, I had Tim Hardaway. He had a good year with Atlanta after leaving New York. Jokic from Denver, walking double-double, big man. But then I had to think about who's my guy, the Greek Freak. Like I said, the only player who's in the top 20 in all in the 5 categories: points, steals, rebounds, assists, and blocks. So I mean, most improved player, I definitely have to give it to him. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, he leads his team in every category.
Defensive player of the year, I'm going to give it to Leonard, but I feel like LeBron should have definitely have had more in the past along with MVP. But defensive player of the year, I'm going with Leonard because I feel like he's the only player who I actually watch and he's going to take the ball out your hands. He's not getting steals off of turnovers or bad passes, or he's not deflecting stuff like that. He's actually locking, and he guards every position. I'm going to say he guards the best player on every team. But he can guard the point guard from Curry, Westbrook to James, to the shooting guards, to the Kobe's, whoever, to the small forwards, to LeBron. He gets it done. That's my defensive player of the year. You agree, disagree? Anybody else you want to bring up?
No, I gotta be him.
6th Man of the Year award, the Jamal Crawford award. I'm going to give that to...
I'm gonna keep that award. nobody doing nothing. He doing.
I'm going to give it to Gordon. I'm
Gordon.
going to give it to Eric Gordon of the Houston Rockets, only because I had to look at stats. So with his stats, he's fourth in the NBA with 3 points made. That's off the bench.
Yeah.
He made 200 plus 3-pointers, and I believe he averaged like 20 points off the bench. I mean, Crawford, that's definitely that's his award. I mean, you can never argue with the things he do for the Clippers and the things he do night in and night out throughout the season. I also had like I mentioned, Lou Will, because he had a great start with the Lakers, and he actually fed in with the Rockets. I think his first game with the Rockets, he had like 25, 27 off the bench, and they just don't need him as much as they needed him in LA, and that kind of like deflated his chances. Rookie of the year, I'm going to go with Joel Embiid. And I picked Joel Embiid because, like I said, his minutes were restricted, and he still put up numbers. So just imagine if he would have played, 30, 35, 38 minutes. My only concern is his health, and how would the Sixers use him next season, along with Ben Simmons playing, and whoever we get out of the draft. Coach of the year, who you got?
Oh, coach of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Houston Rocket coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mike D'Antoni. Same thing I got. He didn't coach last year. He was terrible with the Lakers and the Knicks. And look at him now. He put James Harden into the point guard position, and it was a smart move, man. I got my first NBA team. I got who I feel is the best center in the league. AD, Anthony Davis. He's just versatile. People forget he was a point guard throughout his whole high school career, except for when he hit a growth spurt and they moved him to the front court. And my back court, I have Curry. I'm sorry, I have Harden and I have Westbrook. And you can kind of play with this too, but I'm not even gonna put no position. I'm gonna give you my five. I got Anthony Davis, Westbrook, Harden, LeBron James, and for these two players, I was kind of going back and forth. It's Curry and I have Leonard. So you can pick either the two. But I feel like Curry is being looked over this season because of KD. But a lot of people were saying that he's having a down year. But most 3-pointers made in a game this season, he broke the record 3 times. One game, he had 9. Then he finished out with 11. Then he finished with 13. He made 324 3-pointers this year. Behind him is Clay. He had 268. James Harden, Eric Gordon, and then Isaiah Thomas. So, I mean, like I said, you can between the two, this is up for grabs between Leonard and Curry. So before we get out of here, last but not least, I want to talk about the Carmelo Anthony situation and Phil Jackson. So I saw yesterday that Phil Jackson told reporters in the media that Carmelo is better off playing somewhere else. And by him saying that, well, first of all, Carmelo is better off playing somewhere else, and Carmelo actually decided to waive his no trade clause, which I felt like that wasn't a good move because now they're liable to put you anywhere without your consent. So, what you think about Phil Jackson? Like, if a general manager just came out and he sat down with you, what was it, 2 years ago, and he told you like his plans for the team and so forth, and pretty much it just didn't work out. So now he's saying that I'm not gonna say he don't want your part of the plans, but that's pretty much what he's saying.
Trust him.
You wouldn't trust him. So okay, so what happens if you're a player on the Knicks, and you see that your management is treating a top player like this? Like, how would you feel?
Right. Possibility that thing come back around with you next time.
And with that being said, Phil Jackson held a meeting with New York, his team, and he had Melo there, and the rest of the roster. The only person that didn't show up, can you guess?
Kazingas.
That's right. He didn't show up because pretty much he's tired of the never-ending drama, and
That boy ain't come to the league for that.
right, and a lack of direction to where the team is going. And I feel like if you're a New York fan and if you're Phil Jackson, it's a time to panic. Because maybe he's looking at it. He's looking at the way you're treating Carmelo, the statements you're giving after a loss, who you're pointing a finger to, how you're running the team, and I feel like that's playing a big role. He wants to win, and I feel like when it's said and done, he may be a top overall international player in the NBA. He's a 7'3" forward center. You can put him anywhere. He puts the ball on the floor. He's athletic, and he can shoot the ball. So before all that's said, we're getting out of here. Thanks for listening today to the Tell Like It Is radio podcast, and enjoy the first round matchup, because I will definitely be checking them out. Anything you want to say?
Thanks for listening. Keep liking, subscribing, sharing. Shout out Rock Out Sports Development. They're doing some big things. Big ups, Baker Hoops. Just, I don't know, just check us out, man. Support. That's all we ask for.
There you go. Enjoy the rest of you guys' day. And let's enjoy the NBA playoffs.